Hey everyone, this is Shadow759, and I'm here to map out the timelines and story order of my series in order. If you'd like to know plot details, please click the link over here or in the video description. Alright, let's begin. Sonic the Hedgehog Inceptive is the beginning of everything in the timeline. It's timeline 1, and it's even in the title, Inceptive, which means relating or making the beginning of something. When several years later pass, Mephiles meets up with Silver and Blaze, and they travel back in time, creating a second timeline known as Sonic 06. I of course didn't write or do anything with Sonic 06, I just based a lot of my series around Sonic 06 by Sonic Inceptive and Sonic Reminiscent. I might dub the whole Sonic 06 one day just to fit it better with my story, but that's another story for another time. Back on track, because Silver and Blaze traveled back in time, this created an alternate timeline which created Sonic 06, and because of Soloris and Sonic and Elise blowing out the flame, it created another timeline. Another story arc that I created, Sonic Reminiscent. Here's where it gets a little tricky, but I'll try to explain it to the best of my abilities. Sonic Inceptive created Sonic 06 by time travel. Sonic 06 is an alternate timeline that was rewritten by the power of Soloris, thus creating Sonic Reminiscent. Sonic 06 and Sonic Reminiscent is the same timeline. However, Sonic 06 was rewritten by Soloris' powers. The events of Sonic 06 happened in order for the Timeline 3 to exist. Because Sonic Reminiscent is pretty much the same timeline, just a new life, a new timeline for it to keep advancing because the threat of Iblis is no longer around. So what does that mean about the Sonic Inceptive timeline? It does exist because it's its own timeline. It didn't need anything in order to be created by another timeline like Sonic 06 or anything. So the Sonic Inceptive timeline still exists because it's its own thing. Sonic 06 has been affected and it's a completely different timeline, and thus creating Sonic Reminiscent. And that's why Mephiles and Silver still come into existence. So that's pretty much how it boils down to. First is Sonic Inceptive, then Sonic 06, and then Sonic Reminiscent. Some of you are probably wondering, where does Sonic Wonderful World Life and Deaths come into play? And that takes place after Sonic Reminiscent. It's not a new timeline or anything, it's just a continuation of a story, and there's not going to be too much time travel talk from then on. Also, the Blaze movie, Blaze Contingency. The movie will start off in Sonic Inceptive, moving on to Sonic 06, and the rest I cannot say right now, but look forward to it in February 25th, hopefully that's when the movie will be out. One last thing before I end this video, I want to say that Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood is going to be a part of my story arc, which was already shown in Sonic Reminiscent Shadow's End. Because Sonic Chronicles was created by Sega and BioWare, was cancelled due to multiple reasons, I'm not acknowledging the game's canon. However, I am reintroducing characters, and I rewrote a bunch of their stories based on the Sonic Chronicle game, and pretty much making it into my own thing. So, I'm sorry if some people were confused by Sonic Reminiscent Shadow's End by Lord X's complete different personality, but that's how it is right now. I am just reintroducing characters and rewriting the whole thing on Sonic Chronicles, but like I said, into my own style. Last note I want to say on Sonic Chronicles by Lord X is that he is from the Sonic Inceptive timeline. So he is from Timeline 1, and he is now in Sonic Wonderful World Life and Deaths. Styx falls into the same category as Sonic Chronicles, except, Boom isn't cancelled, but I don't acknowledge Boom's canon. I put Styx into my stories because, well, I genuinely like the character, but I have rewritten her here and there to be my own style, and also she is based on Sonic Boom by her paranoia and conspiracy theories and all that stuff. Expect more videos from her in the future by both funny and the dramatic stuff. I really hope that this video answers a lot of your questions out there. If you still have questions, feel free to ask. I really hope you guys enjoy this story that I'm making. I put in a lot of thought and effort into this. And yes, feel free to ask questions. Please like and subscribe. That really does help me by a lot. And also, you could contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon. Everything is in the description below. And I'll see you all later.